Aloha everyone, this is Sean with Homestead in Hawaii. Today I am going to bring to you 10 reasons not to move to the Big Island. The Big Island, as much of a paradise as it is, also is filled with downsides, just like any other place that you find in the world. No place is ever exactly perfect, and neither is the Big Island. And these are some of the things that you're going to need to know if you're considering making the move to the Big Island, especially if you're going to be an off-grid homesteader out here. Well, for me, for one, there are certain issues that really bothered me when I first moved here. And I guess maybe because I'm spoiled. I grew up in Southern California where there are tons of sandy beaches. But when I moved to the Big Island, I quickly realized that sandy beaches were a thing of the past. It's mostly rock out here everywhere. Everywhere you go, you're going to find rocky beaches, even the ones with sand for the most part. There's going to be rocks in places. And that's not bad. The rocks are fine. I miss sinking my feet into the soft sand and going for long walks on the sand, but most of the coastline here is covered in rocky cliff, and it's not very accessible, especially in the Puna district. There are some nicer stretches of beach on the west side of the island, Kohala Coast and into Kona, but even those beaches are small and sometimes even seasonal. And for this Southern California boy who is used to miles and miles of sand, that was a rude awakening to say the least. But it's been about 18 years I'm here, and my feet have toughened up, and I'd say that they are hardened to the lava rock, just like my children's feet are. And I am used to the lack of sand now, but I still miss it, I'll tell you that. So that's one reason why I wouldn't move to the island of Hawaii. Another reason would be the lava. In 2018, we just had a massive lava flow, and we've had lava flows before that even. It's a constant occurrence out here on the Big Island. And if you so happen to be in the path of that lava, you're out of luck. I have lost dozens of friends in that last lava flow. They've had to move off island or just, had their lives torn apart. And it was devastating. The community definitely felt the loss. A lot of good people left. A lot of great community endeavors are gone now. And it's a little sad. Not to mention the loss of the beaches and the coastline. It's not like a wildfire. A lava flow just destroys more than just a home. It destroys the land and even surf spots and beaches. And that was a really tough blow. And for most of us here in Puna, that hurt a lot. If you're on another part of Hawai'i Island or whatnot, that may not have hit you very much. But if you're thinking about moving to the Puna district, just know that that loss is real, that pain still exists. Patterns have changed and have caused other things to become less enjoyable. Like my next reason why not to move to Hawai'i Island would be the lack of surf. Now, I'm a surfer, and where I live on the east side, there's about 2 to 3 surf spots at best. Now that we lost Pohiki in the lava flow, there's more pressure on them now, and there's a lot of surfers here, and it's a little hard to get into the lineup and to catch your waves. So would I prefer to be in a place that was more wave rich? Definitely. I'm a little bummed on that aspect. So if you like surfing, I would highly second guess coming to the Big Island to be a surfer. There's waves on the west side of the island, but even there's overcrowded surf, and it's just hard to be a surfer here on Hawai'i Island. My next reason why you should double guess your choice on moving to the Big Island would be When that lava is flowing, there is a volcanic smog that fills the air, and for a lot of people, it really affects them. And especially if you are thinking of Ka'u or the Kona side, that VOG really hits over in those areas. We've been really blessed lately. The volcano is not flowing at all, and we've had some really clean air. But I've experienced that VOG, and it is like a thick haze. And I could definitely see how some people get affected. I think I mildly feel some sort of nausea or headache when I'm in the Kona side during a real VOG event. But you know, that is a reality when that lava is flowing, and from my experience, that lava is flowing more often than not. So consider VOG as a real hazard if you have some sort of breathing problems or whatnot. If you are living in Hilo or North Hilo and the north part of the island, the VOG is not an issue. It's mainly around the south area of the island, even in Puna, where we're actually close to the volcano. The wind is blowing in the opposite direction, so for the most part, we don't really have VOGgy days here either. But for those of you who have breathing issues, consider that VOG. Okay, another thing that might deter you from moving to Hawaii would be the little critters out here will kill you. We got slugs that contain this rat lungworm that will paralyze you. Little fire ants that just want to eat you alive. Centipedes that bite you in the middle of the night, once, sometimes twice in a row. These things are no fun. But in reality, we're actually pretty lucky. There could be more. And I know, like, Australia has every deadly animal known to man, whereas in Hawaii, we can walk through grassy fields and feel safe from not getting bit by a tick, and don't have to worry about bears or coyotes or anything like that. But there are little critters, mostly insect type critters, that are the invisible killers out here. There's mosquitoes with dengue fever and the rat lungworm disease and all the other little diseases that you can find in the tropics that you know, can do havoc on you. So if you're, you know, not the type of person that really digs that sort of thing, just know that those things are real out here, and they're a little bit of a nuisance. Okay, that's about 5 reasons why you should not move to Hawaii Island. Um, what about reason number 6? Gas can be really expensive. Now, I live in Hilo, and it is one of the cheapest areas in all of the islands for gas. But even in Hilo, it is expensive. Right now, it's about $3.40, and we are in the midst of one of the lowest oil prices in the history of oil. It actually tanked below zero recently, and still our gas is at $3.40. I've seen places on the mainland where gas has responded and gone below $2 or even $1 in some places in America, but we are still at $3.40. And that ties into reason number 7 not to move to Hawaii Island is you're going to be doing a lot of driving. Everything is spread out. The planning on the roads was not the best, to say the least. And so you're going to have to do a good amount of driving around here to really get anywhere. Unless you already live in Hilo or in Kona Town, and you can just ride your bike around town and your life exists right there in town, you're going to be driving. And I drive 20 minutes to get to Hilo, about 15 miles, and I try not to drive too often. Go to Kona, it's about 70 miles from here to there, to get some beautiful sunshine and nice sandy beaches. But just to go to the beach in Hilo, I gotta go 15 miles. Visit friends. Everyone lives in a different subdivision around here. You gotta drive, you know, 5, 10 miles sometimes to get there. So driving and the mix of the cost of gas, those are two reasons right there why you might want to think about second guessing your move to Hawaii. Uh, Neighborhood cohesion is lost in a lot of places because of that. And so sometimes that neighborhood feel where you live isn't that strong because so many people are always driving so far all the time. All right, so let's get into reason number 8 why you should think about not moving to Hawaii. As an off-grid homesteader, you want to be growing food, right? I got plants all around me. I got my orange tree here. I got a ulu back there, Suriname cherry right behind me, bamboo. And amazingly enough, a lot of these plants are growing in very little soil. It's mostly lava rock under me that I'm standing on, and a very thin layer, about maybe 1-2 inches of soil here. I actually can feel rock through my feet right now as I'm standing here. So the soil is poor, to say the least, or close to non-existent. And so you have to do a lot to build the soil. And if you want to grow vegetables, you're going to have to bring your soil in. I just made a giant raised bed where I'm growing some harder to grow vegetables, but I also have some areas, I don't know, back over there where I've built soil directly in the ground and try to do that in spots, other spots. Here I got pineapples behind me where we've built up soil by bringing a lot of it in. I used to go surf in town all the time, and every time I would come back with a load of soil in my truck or horse manure or mulch from the dump, and I'd be building it up. And so constantly adding. Over a year, I got a bunch of raised beds in here, and it's about time to start doing all that all over again to increase the growing capacity on my homestead. But that takes a lot of work. And so land is cheap out here, but soil is scarce. And so is it something that you want to deal with? You have to change your diet almost completely if you really are considering to be sustainable living off the land here in Hawaii. Reason number 9, if we're gonna put these things in some sort of order, there is no real order to any of this. I'm just giving you 10 reasons why not to move to Hawaii Island. And I'd say reason number 9 would have to be the drugs and the crime. Land out here is pretty cheap. We're in Hawaii, and it is what many consider a paradise, but the dark side of paradise is the poverty and crime. The bad education system leads to poor work prospects, and leads to a lot of people not earning a lot of money and resorting to crime and drugs to get through their day. And well, I'd have to say it starts at drugs and then leads to crime. People feeding that need for the drugs by stealing cars or stealing people's property. It's a real problem out here. It doesn't seem to be getting any better. We don't have a very large police force in Puna especially. But because it's so cheap here, we tend to attract people who are on the lower income side, who have more poverty issues and more prone to getting into things like drugs and crime, because jobs are so scarce and the level of pay is kind of weak. That, you know, what else is there to do for some people in a situation like that? And so, yeah, I've had friends get their cars stolen. A lot of people get stuff taken from them. Lucky for me, I'd never have had a problem with that yet. Been out here 18 years, and I have crappy looking cars, and I make sure my stuff is all put away, and I think that helps. You know, if you're driving a brand new Toyota Tacoma, it's going to be a target. But if you're driving an old minivan, I think it's going to fit right in, and no one really wants that car. All right, and now we're on to the last reason why you should not move to Hawaii. And so this one is statewide. It's not just applied to the Big Island here, but Hawaii is stolen land. In 1896, a group of American businessmen conspired to overthrow the Kingdom of Hawaii, and they did it. They somehow got the American president to sign off on it, and Hawaii became a territory and then eventually became a state after Pearl Harbor. And a lot of the local people here are not too thrilled about that. They want their land back, they want their right to governance, and they want to kick out that foreign government that now exists here, and rightly so. The government here is one of the most corrupt governments in the country. They are totally inept from what I've been able to see. They waste a lot of money on the crony projects, and they don't do enough for the people. But that all stems back to the monarchy being stolen, and the local people being angry about it and having a little bit of a resentment towards newcomers that come to the island. They see this land as theirs, and they never wanted it taken from them, and now it's gone. If you are thinking about moving out here, it's important for you to educate yourself on the issues, and maybe, it'll help dictate whether or not you actually want to make that move to the islands. Because essentially, while I live out here, I made this move a long time ago before I knew these issues. My friend in high school was Hawaiian, and I just moved out with his family, and then I found myself out here in Puna. If I knew, I may have, possibly second guessed my move, but I'm here now. I've lived here for so long, there's no other place I'm going. And so I do my best by trying to give back to the people of Hawaii. I try and grow my food and try my best to live the way the people of Hawaii have tried to live. And I try to share my surplus. I try and do extra things in the community to give back at the schools and in the town through community gardens. And I try and develop trees and grow trees from seed to share with my neighbors so that they could be growing their own food and we could be increasing our food resiliency, and just try and give back and share aloha wherever I can. Here I am, a colonizer of Hawaii, but I am trying to bring some of my skills and my abilities to be able to share and give back to the people here. And so if you're thinking about doing the same, please come with aloha in your heart. Do not come to close off and take away, but come to give and to share. Those are the realities that we have set for us out here. If you still are considering a move to Hawaii, it is a beautiful place. I am glad that I can call Hawaii my home. I've made lots of friends here, and I love the land. I love the ocean, and just love trying to connect more to the people and the Aina, and feed myself, my family, and my neighbors. So I hope this top 10 list on reasons not to move to Hawaii has helped shape your ideas and plans. And if you have any other questions or like to learn more, please leave a comment below, like my YouTube channel, and subscribe. The more that we build, the more we share and grow, the more that all of us can learn about off-grid living and what it's like out here in the island of Hawaii. Aloha everyone, thanks for sharing your time with me today.